Point here being that NLU has offered us an opportunity, or it proposes to offer us an opportunity to produce a better or a superior class of lawyers. I'm not really sure of this statement though, but this is something that there is a running presumption amongst NLUs. And is this presumption correct, or are NLUs wrong in taking that higher ground of superiority in a sense?
Look, I don't think one should take a higher ground simply because you've gone to an institution. That by itself is a slippery slope. Of course, institutions stand for a tradition and a history of excellence in some cases they don't. But that again doesn't mean that every product from that institution is necessarily of a certain cut. In the defense of the NLUs, I can certainly say that yes, bright minds go there, but it's not that that's the only place that bright minds go to. I've publicly often said that my best juniors have come from the university law college, the government law colleges, and non-NLUs. So it's hard to say. They come with a drive and a passion which sometimes the NLU products don't have. So that makes a big difference. It's not just your intelligence or acumen that helps you make it in any profession. You've got to also come with a certain discipline and a certain character which your institution may or may not impart to you. But yes, in defense of the NLUs, I will say that the curriculum, the interactivity, the clinical model, the seminar papers, the project papers, the external faculty, the focus on research, on thinking laterally, the exposure to a very wide set and base of material. These are no doubt the strengths of the NLUs, and they certainly equip you as a lawyer academically, theoretically, in a better way. There can't be any denying it, which is really why people write CLAT and first want to go to the NLUs over the others. So let's not undermine that. But having said that, it also comes down to what you're driven by. And if, like you said, quite honestly, that if the CLAT programs and the pedagogy at the law schools is really preparing you to be, for the want of a better phrase, bought out by a firm in your fourth year or your third year or whatever, then you're comparing apples and oranges, because your colleagues in the other law universities may not have that access. They may not be so savvy or employable by international firms. They may, but many times they may not. But to their credit, their focus on the practice of the law, on the realities of the courts, their ability to cope with practice, to work with seniors, to make their mark, I find that capacity is far greater. So look, I don't think anyone can take a moral or an academic high ground here. It's very individualistic. It depends on how each person has done. And that's really why I'm at pains to say that I'm, after all, from the NLS. So look, I do think that I have some moral right to say this. And that's why I'm at pains to say that you need to break a lot of the mind blocks that exist within the NLUs against the practice of the law. I've been candid to say that there are of course a lot of areas of concern within the legal system. I don't have to tell you that. It's acknowledged across the board. But having said that, taking a critical and a constructive look at problems is one thing, and creating mind blocks within the student community is something completely different. And I think that is where the NLUs, I can't really make generalizations again, because my exposure to the other NLUs is academic. I've done guest lectures. I've had, of course, juniors and interns. So I don't know if that's enough to form an opinion. But my general sense is that there is some sort of disinclination towards the practice of the law. And if that is so ingrained institutionally, then it's lopsided, right? It's never going to lead to a real test of your alumni.